Hi, everyone. I am Dana Dozon, and I will be presenting this webinar today on online applications, seamless waiver, and health inspections. And this is all related to school year 2021-2022. Again, welcome. We'll begin by reviewing the online applications first. The effectiveness and operation of the school food service relies on accurate information being reported in a timely manner. The SFS web application includes the 3 topics that we will be discussing in this presentation: the National School Lunch and Breakfast Program online application, the Seamless Waiver form, and the Health Inspection form. It is located on the CNP website, and it is designed to allow you, the SFA, also referred to as the sponsor, to receive information about your schools and facilities to and from the state agency without being paper dependent. This presentation will help the sponsor become familiar with the Child Nutrition Program website and what to expect as the forms are completed. It can also be used as a refresher for existing staff and new staff responsible for completing these forms. On this slide, you will see an overview of the items we will discuss in this presentation. Please take a few moments to review these items. We will begin by discussing the SFS submission process. Here is a breakdown of the essential steps. A prospective new SFA must provide the LDOE Division of Nutrition Support with a completed CNP information sheet. It must be complete with information for all positions. The same name can be used for multiple positions if applicable. It is acceptable for the superintendent and authorized representative to be the same person. However, it is recommended to enter 2 different people into this field so that in the event of a staffing change or other unforeseen circumstance, the Louisiana Department of Education Division of Nutrition Support still has valid contact information for your SFA. This information is used to create your Child Nutrition Program permanent agreement. After all required paperwork, including the permanent agreement, has been completed accurately and submitted to the state agency, a user account for the CNP website will be created for the superintendent and authorized representative. At that time, an email will be sent to them with their login information. But now we'll discuss logging on to the website. To access the website, the user will begin by typing http://cnp.doe.louisiana.gov into the address line of the web browser, which should be Internet Explorer. Then the assigned login name and password will be entered and click Login. When the user account is created, the CNP website creates a password. It is a group of random numbers, symbols, and letters. LDOE recommends changing the password the first time logging on to something that is easier to remember. In the next few slides, we will discuss the steps needed to change the password as well as password security. The Change Password tab allows the user to change the password to something easier to remember. The steps needed are as follows. Click Home, click My Account, and then click Change Password. Then you'll enter the new password twice to confirm the password, and then click Save. Once the user has successfully changed the password, please remember the new one for future use. From that point forward, if there is an error during login, the CMP website will prompt invalid user ID or password. After 5 unsuccessful login attempts, the user will be temporarily locked out of the system. Each user is responsible for what occurs under their user ID or login ID. The following are some tips on how to utilize the CMP website to properly maintain security. Follow the password guidelines and do not use anything easy to guess like birth dates, family names, common words, etc. Do not write down your password. Do not leave it anywhere easy to find, like under your keyboard, in a desk drawer, or taped to your monitor. The most frequently used method to steal a password is to search someone's desk, because writing it down is the most common mistake that people make. Do not leave the CMP website, log in and walk away from your computer. Always remember to log out. Do not share your password with other users. Several of the forms require that the user certify that all the information on the form is true and correct. If someone else certifies inaccurate data on a form for fraudulent purposes using your login, then you will be held responsible. Okay, so once logged into the CMP website, the name of the SFA is located in the top, at the top right side of the screen, as well as the name of the child nutrition programs the user is authorized to view. In this case, it is school food service. To access anything related to school food service, you would need to click this tab. The user can also see the Home tab at the top right of the screen. Once the Home tab is clicked, the user should see a menu of information related to their account on the left side of the screen. My Account provides information about the user who is logged in. It is also where the assigned password can be changed. The administration section provides information about the School Food Authority and allows new user accounts to be created or edit existing accounts depending on authorizations. We will now discuss the required online forms. Information on some forms within the web application will populate into other forms on the web application. Therefore, it is important to complete them in the order they are listed under the Forms tab. The following slides describe each form and the submission requirements. The first form that must be completed is requirements. It consists of 4 sections: the CNP Permanent Agreement Acknowledgement, the NSLP Schedule A Program Year Agreement, and the SAMGov Verification, and also the CN Data Sharing Agreement. The user will type "I agree" for the CNP Permanent Agreement Acknowledgement, NSLP Schedule A Program Year Agreement, and the CN Data Sharing Agreement form after all information has been read. On the SAMGov verification form, the user will enter the agency's DUNS number and then click Submit. This number is a unique non-character number used to identify your organization and is used by the federal government to track how federal money is allocated. We will now discuss the policy checklist. The policy checklist is a list of essential policies and current year prototype forms. For continuing SFAs, it is used to renew the agreement with the state of Louisiana for participation in the school food service program. SFAs will be operating seamless summer option should select non-pricing under question 1. Meal applications must be collected and provide public release notification. And this is question number 10. And also you can refer to SFS Memo 21-184. This is a screenshot of the Schedule A sponsor meal info screen. The sponsor meal info screen is completed once for each SFA. It collects the meal charge for breakfast, lunch, and snack. All items should be monetary value. Do not type $ or commas. Use decimal points to specify cents. Meal charges are the amounts that the school/facility would charge for a particular meal if they were to charge. Even if the school/facility is non-pricing, enter other charges such as employee and adult charges if they apply to your school/facility. The meal charges for visitors and adults should be more than those charged to students. Please note that the documents attached to this form contain self-reported, unaudited data and will be acknowledged only as received by the state agency. Documents to be uploaded as applicable include unpaid meal charges policy and document, SFA procurement code of conduct certification and document, SFA procurement procedures, certification and document, wellness policy certification and documents, hazard analysis critical control points, also known as HACCP certifications and documents, and some system for awards management. Now we'll discuss the site participation list. On this form, no data is entered. Instead, the site participation list serves as a recap of school sites that are in operation with associated meal service types to be offered. The sponsor user can click on the site name to continue to the next part of the application, or can click directly on the site meal info page. The Schedule A needs to be completed for each site that will be participating in NSLP and SBP. A site meals info form must be completed for each site. Use the drop-down box to select a school slash facility. Once a school slash facility has been selected, the site meals info form for that site will appear. Each item of the site meals info form is described in the online form manual, and this manual can be found on the CNP website under memos and resources. Now we'll discuss the collection officials. The collection officials form consists of one page. Either names or titles may be used. This is where you provide information on the determining officials, verifying officials, and hearing official. You may also designate all kitchen managers to be determining officials. This form is completed once for each SFA. The collection procedures form must be completed for each school. The collection procedures consist of one page of questions and must be completed by clicking the appropriate procedure for breakfast, lunch, and snack, depending on what is offered at a particular site. On the next few slides, we will discuss how to add a collection procedure. To add a collection procedure, please complete the following steps. Click School Food Service, click Forms, click Collection Procedures, and then you click the Add button. Then a pop-up window will appear. You will need to complete the two questions. Please choose which existing procedure, if any, to base the new procedure on. With this question, you have the opportunity to choose an existing procedure to use as a template. Also, the other question would be, please choose which meal will be used for the new procedure. With this question, you choose the meal type, breakfast, lunch, or snack that the procedure is for. Then you will click the Save button. The collection procedure has been created and the computer has given it a default name. So now you will see this page. You will need to complete all 10 questions on this page, and then you will click the next button at the bottom of the page. Okay, for the labor expense form for school year 2021-2022, there will be no labor expense needed to be uploaded or entered. The income expense form consists of 4 parts that are divided on 5 pages. Part 1 is income and reimbursement. Part 3 is net cash resources on June 30th, and part 4 is allowable operating balance. This information entered on this form is for the previous program year. You will transfer the dollar value as reported on your system's statistical report, rounded to the nearest whole dollar. Do not use dollar signs or commas. Once all the required forms are complete, the forms package can be submitted to the state agency for processing. To access the Submit Forms tab, First, click the green School Food Service tab located in the right-hand corner of the page. Under School Food Service, click Form. This will display the screen shown here. Then click Submit Forms. Please note that only individuals with the submission authority level will have the submit rights. All the forms that you have started will appear in this list. If the checkbox next to the form is enabled, you can submit the form by clicking the box next to the form. A green check will appear. If an error message appears and the box is disabled, which means you can't click in it, this form is not ready for submission. You will see the message at the bottom that states submission of NSLP form is not permitted at this time. A list of the items that remain to be completed will appear under the respective form name. If the form must be completed for each school facility, items that remain to be completed will also be listed by site. If you still receive the submission of NSLP form is not permitted at this time message, and you have checked all the boxes for the forms listed, then you have not started a required form. Forms only appear in the list after they have been started. You must go back and complete the forms. Now the forms are ready for submission to the state agency. After you submit them, a LDOE nutrition support staff member will review the application for completeness. They will contact you if any changes or updates need to be made. After the application is complete, LDOE Division of Nutrition Support will approve it, and an approval letter will be sent to the superintendent and authorized representative via email. The next section on the CNP website under School Food Service that I want to bring you to your attention is Seamless Waiver Form. Schools will instead choose to operate the National School Lunch Program Seamless Summer Option or the regular NSLP SBP. This means that schools will return to the school meal pattern, which emphasizes healthy eating with a focus on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and sensible calorie levels. However, FNS has issued a targeted meal pattern waiver to give schools the flexibility they need to provide a safe meal service in school year 2021 and 2022. In recognition of the additional cost of serving safe meals during the COVID-19 pandemic, FNS is also allowing schools to operate SSO to receive the higher SFSP reimbursement rate in school year 2021-2022. So what is the difference between the National School Lunch Program and the Seamless Summer Option? The Seamless Summer Option is a component of the National School Lunch Program and combines features of the NSLP, School Breakfast Program, and the Summer Food Service Program. Under the SSO, sponsors will follow the National School Lunch, School Breakfast meal pattern requirements and are able to provide free meals to all students and claim meals at the free rate. For school year 2021-2022, all meals served under the SSO will be reimbursed at the SFSP rate. The Seamless Waiver Form is submitted annually by the SFA through the online CMP website. For school year 2021-2022, the SFA's operating SSO should complete this form last. Information from other forms will populate into this one. For example, meal information entered into the Schedule A will populate into the seamless waiver form. This application is available on the website under the Green School Food Service tab under the subheading Seamless Waiver. When the user first accesses the Seamless Waiver tab, a listing of all currently approved schools sites will display as seen in this screenshot. For sites that will participate, the user must place a check mark next to the site under the school facility column, and then click the Save Selections button. This will allow for the edit button to appear, enabling the sponsor to complete the corresponding site application. After the edit button is clicked, this page will appear. At the beginning of the form, the following fields are listed: site name, site code, address, city, parish, and phone number. Please note that this information is pre-populated and can only be edited by the state agency. Now we will discuss the questions that will need to be completed. Question 1, the sponsor will select the central kitchen site from the drop-down list. This is the location where meals are being prepared. For questions 2 and 3, the number of operating days as well as the start and end date will populate from the Calendar Management tab, which we will discuss later in this presentation. For question 4, the sponsor will indicate the site type. USDA Nationwide Waiver number 85 to allow seamless summer option through school year 2021. This waiver may be used at any school regardless of the location or type of SSO site. The 3 site options are open, restricted open, and closed enrolled. For question 5, SFAs are required to publicly notify students and families about the availability of free meals. Some suggestions for communicating the availability of meals are to notify students and families about the availability of breakfast, lunch, and after-school meals free of charge to students via email or written communication prior to the start of school. This is not applicable to non-pricing schools. For question 6, the eligibility method that will be used will be the school data, unless otherwise instructed by Child Nutrition Program staff to use census data according to the waiver number 85. It is a requirement when sponsoring a closed enrolled site to state a reason why must be given. An example is program provides cultural, religious, or other organized activities for a specific group of children. And for C and D, both of these fields will be in A for this year only. Now we'll move on to question 7. This information is about the meal participation. Remember, this information will be populated over from your Schedule A. So you will not need to enter any information on this area. And then once everything is correct and complete, you click the Save button at the bottom of the page. Once you click the Save button, if there are any errors listed on the page, the CMP website will not allow the information to be saved until all errors have been corrected. You will see this box listing the errors that you need to go back and correct. Once they're all corrected, you click Save, and then it'll allow you to go to the next site. And this error message box will be at the top of the page. The next tab that needs to be completed is Manage Calendar. You will select a site from the drop-down list. To make changes to the calendar, click in the checkbox next to Edit Calendar. Please note that if you only want to view the information, you do not need to click in the checkbox Edit Calendar. Then you select the days that the Seamless Waiver program will be operating. Once selected, the dates should be highlighted purple. So all of your operating dates should be highlighted in purple. Then next, you're going to click in the checkboxes next to the sites you would like to apply this calendar to. Then you would click Save to Selected Calendars. So let's discuss the Save to Select Calendar button. If the user is working on the calendar for site ABC Street and would like to apply the same calendar to site John Doe Park, the following steps must be completed. You would scroll to the bottom of the screen or the bottom of the page, and by default, ABC Street is selected because it is the site chosen from the drop-down list. To apply the calendar for ABC Street to John Doe Park, you would click in the checkbox next to John Doe Park. And you would click Save to Selected Calendars. The next item that we will discuss is health inspections. The sponsor will need to ensure that all applications are complete, correct, and that the appropriate site applications. Next, we will discuss submitting Seamless Waiver form. The sponsor will need to ensure that all applications are complete, correct, and that the appropriate site application has been checked. This form will be submitted separately from the other required forms, which includes a policy checklist, Schedule A, and so forth. Now we will discuss health inspections. The National School Lunch Act requires that two food safety inspections per school year be conducted by the state or local governmental agency responsible for inspections. All sponsors of the National School Lunch Program should request these from their local parish health department and keep written documentation of the request. If a health inspection is requested and completed, the latest health inspection should be posted in a public place. And here are just a few reminders for the March claim reimbursement. A reminder will appear prior to submitting the claim, asking if there are any current year health inspections that need reporting in the CNP website. A response must be provided in order to continue with that claim. And in the month of April, the sponsor users will not be allowed to submit the claims beginning in April until the health inspection reporting has been done for each NSLP approved site. If both required inspections have been completed or requested per site, then this information needs to be entered into the CNP website. On the next few slides, we will discuss how to add a health inspection date and how to let the state agency know if the inspection was requested but not conducted. So to add a health inspection date or reason why an inspection was not conducted, you would want to click on the School Food Service tab and then click on Site Health Inspections. We will first discuss how to add a health inspection date. If the required 2 site health inspections were conducted for a given site, 2 entries must still be recorded. To indicate the required health inspection was performed, proceed as follows. You will click the plus button to the left of the site name. Use the drop-down box to select yes in response to do you know the date of the inspection and click OK. A new window will appear to allow the user to select OK. Then you will want to type in the health inspection date and click the blue check mark, which is the same as a save button. And please remember to use the format when typing in the inspection date as month, then day, and then year. You would type in the four digits. If a health inspection was not conducted, then you would also click the plus button to the left of the site name. And when using the drop-down box, you would select no in response to do you know the date of the inspection, and then click OK. A new window will appear to allow the user to select a reason on why the inspection was not performed. Options include the following: site closed, site shares a cafeteria with another site, site did not serve meals, inspection requested but not conducted. Then after making a selection, you click on the blue check mark to save the information. That is the end of today's webinar. If you have any questions, you can always contact the LDOE Division of Nutrition Support at 342-9661 or at Child Nutrition Programs at la.gov. If anyone has any questions about today's webinar, they can go ahead and submit those questions to the chat box, and we will try to get as many of those answered as possible. Okay, so one of the questions that we have is, when will the application open? The application should be available sometime the middle of next week. Okay, we'd like to thank everyone for participating in this webinar. And also, please remember to fill out the evaluation form that will be emailed to you in regards to today's webinar.
It's posted on Fit Kids.
And it is also posted on LouisianaFitKids.com. And please remember to always go to louisianafitkids.com to be able to register for any of the upcoming trainings. Thanks, and everyone have a great day.